Check it out. Here's the deal. We've all got shit. And it's time we start to talk about it. And it's gonna super suck to work through the muck, but it's gonna be better than hating yourself being stuck. No work will come out unless you start looking in. So let's talk shit for the motherfucking win. Hello, high fivers and sisters and misters and peepsicles and everybody that is here to listen to the very first episode of Let's Talk Shit with High Five Fit. My name is Coach Kitty. I truly believe that everything is vibrations, energy, frequency, waves. However you'd like to see it, everything has its own energy and vibration. Within that, this podcast is going to be extremely high vibrational so that y'all can plug into it and get a little high vibrational too. You know what I'm saying? As a coach, as a mentor, a leader, a supporter, as an empowering presence, I really wanted to connect to more people so that they could thrive on our vibe that we've created within our empowering community. So here we go. How about some shit talk? All right. Shit to High Five Fit stands for self-hating inner talk. Let me repeat that. Shit stands for self-hating inner talk. The things we talk to ourselves in our head or the things that we say in our head are nasty, Janet. Nasty boys. And becoming aware of that nasty helps us to get rid of it. Self-hating inner talk are records and patterns and, habits and stories that we make up and ways that we show up because of this talk of self-hate in our brain from something that happened potentially long ago. This self-hating inner talk creates space for you to show up in a way that maybe you wouldn't normally, which in essence, it's legitly creating a shit show. Almost like a movie that you see based on things you've already seen in your past. So we all have numerous shit shows in our life. We show up in our career a certain way. We show up in our marriage a certain way. We show up in our relationships, our partnerships, our friendships. We show up to our children a certain way. And potentially all of these areas, if we don't work on the inner shit that's going on, like that self-hating inner talk that we're allowing to get all up in our way and roadblock and impede us from our badassery, if we don't work on that stuff, it will show up as a shit show all over the place. Ugh. Shit all over the place. Shit the bed. So these shit shows that we're creating are from, as I mentioned earlier, records and stories and strong suits of armor that we're putting on so we don't have to feel the feels. We don't want to feel the feels again because they suck. Yeah, they super do suck. We have to feel the feels again and work through that self-hating inner talk in order to no longer feel the feels again. You feel me? So these shit shows that we're creating, when they get to be a little bit too much to handle, right? Because sometimes our shit shows are just teetering on the surface. We're tiptoeing, we're showing up maybe clingy or overly aggressive or dramatic or, not showing up at all or making up stories. Just all these stories, right? What is this? When we're making up these stories and they get a little bit too carried away down that spiral, like that rabbit hole, Alice, you know what I'm talking about, right? This ain't Wonderland, girlfriend. When we spiral way too quickly, it turns into a shitstorm. Mwah, shitstorm. Almost like the voice is so overpowering that it just comes out of nowhere. And when you look back at some of the things you say, you're like, that's not right. That's, but it's almost like an over-exaggerated, maybe obviously over the top. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, he didn't call me. And then he didn't get a hold of me for 3 hours. And then I sent him like 30 text messages, but he hasn't even looked at them. And then I remember he was looking at this other person's butt when we were in Target the other day. And what, is my butt not good enough? And what's wrong with me? And I'm not good enough. Oh my God. Whoa. That's what I'm talking about. That's the spiral. That's the shitstorm that we create. And it's almost like it's hard to pull ourselves out of it. So to avoid those from even happening, which I feel like before I was aware of, my self-hating inner talk and what my records were, which I'll share my records. You don't worry about that. I'll share my records. Remix. When I became aware of my records is when I was able to shut down those shows, those storms. And the awareness led to a different action. And that's what my job is as a coach, as a mentor, as a support staff, as a spirit squad, what you want to call me, I got you. My job is to let you bounce things off of me, and that you've been acting in this way because of something that happened at this age that is now impeding your progress in this area of your life, right? We just look at it black and white, true and false, like a giraffe, right? Be a giraffe. So we just try to see things a lot more clearly, which then creates space for you to choose another way. Hey, choose another way. Kind of like choose your own adventure. If we're not looking at the stories that we've already created, how can we go back to the stories and choose a new adventure? All right, let's choose a new adventure. Maybe that's a new title of mine. Adventure Chooser. Now, just a side bay. Okay, let's talk side bay here. I don't claim to be an expert. When it comes to talking shit, all I have is experience. And a lot of it. I've worked through not all of, but a lot of my shit. And as promised, the record that I've always dealt with ever has been, no one wants you. And once I figured that ditty out, it was like a bomb went off in my face. Because I had been showing up and creating shit shows thinking that no one wanted my ass. And when I finally saw it for what it was and how absolutely ridiculous I was being, it led for space to choose another adventure, which is exactly what I did. But I wouldn't have found that record without bouncing it off of a coach of my own, right? Trainer, coach, counselor, best friend, spirit squad, whatever you want to call the soul that you're bouncing these things off of, hopefully in a safe and vulnerable, non-judgment space. You then are able to shoot the shit yourself and work through your own shit. It's all organic. When I speak to people in coaching sessions and, spirit sessions and action sessions and magic sessions, when we talk, it's completely organic into the person and what's going on right there in the moment. So working through shit is different for everybody. But what I know to be true through experience is that you can't get rid of your shit unless you talk about it. Know what I'm saying? So here we go. Back to the shit show. What happens if you don't look at your shit? It ain't gonna be pretty. How about we put it that way? If you don't look at, talk about, deal with your shit, then what happens is you start to feel like shit. Meaning, you start to feel like the self-hating inner talk. You start to feel as though it's all true. And what you've been telling yourself in this fearful, maybe angry, resentful, hurt, disappointed place is that it's absolutely true. So then you act as if, and boom, bam, you feel like shit. So how do we stop feeling like shit? Well, okay, let's talk about it. Self-hating inner talk changes the way you show up, right? Shit shows. It changes the way you show up. So for example, if you're at your work, let's use a career, okay? Let's just jump into examples. Let's jump into the shit. Dive in. If you are at work and you are feeling as though your boss is having a problem with you or you're about to get fired, okay? Or you need to get your shit together at work, you may show up in a way of being maybe overly pleasing, clingy, aggressive, overcompensating. Maybe you go the opposite route and wilt and kind of draw inward. And that's what a shit show is. You're showing up in a way from the self-hating inner talk of potentially, I don't deserve this job, I'm not good enough, I'm going to get fired, or whatever it may sound like in the moments. You're showing up in a way that is changing the vibration and the way that you are presenting yourself in your workplace. So therefore, A, you think your boss is going to fire you. So B, you show up as if your boss is going to fire you because you're scared shitless that your boss is going to fire you. And C, your boss feels a different vibration and frequency and wave going on here because you're showing up differently and thinks to herself, what the fuck's going on? So then D, you potentially get put on probation or fired. It's also kind of the law of attraction working, but that's coming in a different episode down the line. Just keep listening. Law of attraction's coming at you. But this is not the good law of attraction, you know what I'm saying? It's almost though this self-hating inner talk from back in a day is being projected onto your present moment. Because you are watching a movie from what you know to be true from back in the day. So therefore, projecting that you are going to get fired is creating a space for you to show up in a inauthentic, maybe fake or overcompensating or just not your right vibe, right? Not who you truly are type of a way, which then pulls to you exactly what you don't want, which is the potential that your boss is like, yeah, this isn't the person I hired. If that doesn't connect, holla at ya girl. CoachKitty.com, sesh.com. However you want to get a hold of me is cool. Send me an owl, cool with that. These are the type of things that I like to talk through and look at and dig deeper into. Doesn't have to get emotional. Like, let's just, side babe, all of this deep stuff that we're looking at, or the ways of being and the records and blah, blah, all the shit that we're looking at, it doesn't have to be all emotional and cry-sacky. And all it has to really truly be is authentic and genuine and intentional. It doesn't have to, vulnerability doesn't have to mean crying your face off. Although sometimes it does because you dig into shit. Like, yeah, cry, baby, cry. Crying is a form of release. Do it up, buttercup, ain't no thing. But when it comes to digging deep, I want you to know that it doesn't have to be really emotional. It doesn't have to be all wah wah. All it has to do is help you gain awareness so then you can choose a different action. Super simple. Easy peasy McSqueezy. So back to shit. Okay. When you create shit shows and then, potential into shit storms, right? I need you to know that you're not the only one that does that. So let's flip it on the other side. Let's flip it to other people allowing self-hating inner talk to affect the way they show up. Let's keep it at work. Let's keep it in your career, okay? Imagine sitting at the water cooler. You're chit-chatting, having a good time, drinking drinks of water. Guys, come on. It's not 5 o'clock yet. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. You're taking your break, talking to a buddy, pally, fun face, giving high fives, good vibes all around, right? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, someone walks into the room, starts talking about Tom, Dick, or Harry, and you feel the legit vibration of the room go, meow. What that is someone showing up with their shit talk right there, wearing their strong suit of armor or playing their records, all of that. What they're doing is bringing their self-hating inner talk to the vibration near the water cooler. You, therefore, feel it. Because if we're all energy and we're all vibrations and we're all just wavies, lower vibrations and higher vibrations can be felt. If you walk into a family festival or a family get-together, you can feel an overall vibration of what that gathering may entail. If you pay attention and are present to your body and how you feel, you can pick up intuitively on the vibration of a space. Maybe that's a little bit too deep for some of you peoples. No problems, right? But if we're all running on energy and we're looking at people as having vibrations that we can all feel, lower vibrations can be felt. And when you bring yourself down to a lower vibration, you are allowing other people's shit to get all up in your space. So imagine, right, let's go back to the water cooler. Imagine this person comes in and they're like, oh, my pipe's broke and my cat's sick and my blah, 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 and my blah, blah, blah. Right? I mean, I'm not knocking down telling us about your life, yet you know what I'm talking about. Those people that just come into a room to shit sprinkle. To sprinkle shit all over the place. So then, after that finally leaves the water cooler, you look back at your pally McBoombally and you're like, why do I feel like shit? Like, what happened to my high five vibe? Well, it was a shit shark that just came into the water cooler area that sprinkled shit and left you swimming in it. See? It's all about picking up on other people's low or high vibes. That's why with this podcast, I'm trying to be as high vibe as possible. So you can plug in and be like, oh yeah, it feels good. And all of a sudden you're high vibing, and then she's high vibing, and they're high vibing, and we high vibing. And holla holla, all of a sudden some vibes are a lot more high. Yeah, man. Hi. Hi to you too. So shit. Okay, let's get back to shit. I got on that tangent. Thank you so much for letting me do that. Shit shows, when we create them or other people create them around us, what would benefit all people involved is just a little communication. You know what I'm saying? Talk about it. Talk about how you're feeling in that moment and be okay with being vulnerable. Vulnerability is a beautiful gift that I don't feel a lot of people use enough. Straight up, now tell me, Paula. Being authentic with the way that you're feeling in the moment is pretty fucking rad if you think about it. You know, when I'm having a deep discussion with somebody about the way that I feel and the way that I show up because of the way that I feel, that creates awareness. Because, for example, no one knows the shit you talking to yourself. I don't know what you say in your brain. You don't know what I say in my brain until I tell you. Yeah, we're all running in this world that we're expecting other people to read our fucking minds. We're expecting other people to know what we're expecting of them without even telling their asses. We are hoping people know how we feel without telling them, and then creating an expectation that is immediately torn down, or, your immediate disappointment because there's been no words exchanged or no communication had about what either party is expecting, needing, wanting. I mean, that's nasty though. So if there's one thing I know to be true, how do you get rid of shit? It's to talk about it to the people that you love and that love you for your shit and potentially would love to talk about it. Because when we these shit shows, right? I'm gonna keep going back to these because they're running rampant. These shit shows run rampant in your life, yo. And mine too. I'm not telling you I'm better than you. I'm not telling you I'm an expert. I'm just telling you I have tons of experience working through shit. Shit tons. Man, they just keep coming. So through experience, what I know to be true is that when you keep shoving shit, when you a shit shover, when you keep shoving the shit down doobie down dee down diggy diggy, ba with the ba, it piles and piles. And it's almost like you're putting bricks up. When you don't show up authentically in your relationships, or when you don't tell your partner something that you need in the moment, or when you don't speak your truth, or when you don't stand in your power, or when you don't show up in ways that are true and authentic to you, and instead show up depending on the shit that you're going through, that creates a wall around you. Almost like brick by brick. Every time you are shoving your self-hating inner talk or allowing it to dictate your life, you're creating this wall around you. Out of shit. Like, brick by brick, you're building this shit wall. You're shitting bricks. Fuck. You're creating this wall that the only way to break through it, right, is to break it down. You have to break it down now. Break it down with your bad self to then break through to the true you. Break through to the true you, boo. Boom shakalaka. So we've talked about shitstorms. We've talked about shit shows. We talked about feeling like shit. We've talked about shooting the shit with your soul squad and talking about it. I know and I get it that this is not sexy. It's not exciting. It's not like, sign me up for the shit shows. No, not even close. And rolling around in your emotions does not feel like something that makes me want to sign up, right? Nope. Yet another thing I know to be true through experience, though, is the more that I work on my shit, the better life becomes. Because it just opens new awareness, opens new actions, and opens new ways for me to show up. And that's what it'll do for you too. So gain perspective. Let's work on some knowledge. And let's raise the vibration and the awareness of the collective. All right then. Now I'm going to try to keep these podcast episodes under about a half hour or so. Just so you can, plug into the high vibes and high fives on your morning commute or your evening way to happy hour, or when you're just needing some me time to be time. I hope that this becomes your favorite little podcast blast to your face. Maybe a little high five to your face. See? Check that out. If you do dig it, let me know with a follow or a subscribe or share the love with your peepsicles. I plan on doing shit tons more fun acronyms. I mean, I've got really cool lessons that I'd like to share. That's what this podcast is all about. Being sharing. Shareness equals awareness. Yeah, sharing is caring. Yeah. Either way, I can't wait to share with you the things that I've learned through my experience of dealing with my shit. We're going to have some other people in the recording studio. We're going to have some other people that are experts in their fields. And then we're going to maybe do some live coaching on air, right? Check it out. You can get a hold of me for a shit talk session or an action session or just an intro if you want to see if we vibe and jive, man. Woman. Friend. Get a hold of me at CoachKitty.com. It is nothing but a pleasure and an honor to have shared some vibes with you. I hope that you feel empowered. I hope you feel badass. And I hope you feel ready to take on the day or the world. Let's talk shit with High Five Fit. We'll be coming at you weekly with a little dose of some feel-goods and warm fuzzies, as well as some action steps and, maybe a little tough love. Again, I'm Coach Kitty. You can find me at CoachKitty.com. High fives and thanks for listening. Remember, we are all brothers and sisters. We are all connected and we are all one. So share your high vibrations, give high fives, smile at people, and just be nice. We'll see you next week, squad. Boom!